Well, hello everyone. My name is Buana Thurman. I want to thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your schedule to learn a little bit more about our momentum training YouTube boot camp. And we call it YouTube Domination Boot Camp because when you see what's getting ready to happen, you'll understand how you're going to be able to literally take any product, any service, whatever type of campaign you choose to run, you're going to be able to dominate that category. And for those of you that I haven't had a chance to meet, I am the founder of Momentum Training. And it was so crazy when we made a decision to move forward with Momentum. The gentleman that I'm getting ready to introduce you to, we haven't really been in contact in a while, but we've always stayed in contact over the past decade. And that's what I call real friendship, real partnership. He's been doing his thing, and I'm not going to take away from his story, but I'm going to introduce him in just a moment. But I want to tell you a quick story because, we've worked together in the past, and probably two and a half years ago, he called me up and encouraged me to learn what he's getting ready to tell you about right now. And sometimes, he always picks on me and has a little bit of fun with this. But literally, I was so disappointed that I didn't take advantage of what he's getting ready to share with you 2.5 years ago. At the time, I was busy. Y'all know people who are busy and they miss out on opportunities all the time. One of my mentors used to say that was poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. And literally, when I had an opportunity to fully understand and have him teach me one-on-one what this was all about, I played that game of, well, I'm not an internet person. I'm not a computer person. I'm not a video person. And I made really, in my opinion, a bunch of excuses. And it's real easy to find out and figure out ways why not to. But if you're at a point in your career, ladies and gentlemen, where you are sick and tired of trying to recruit and reach out to other people, if you're tired of bugging friends and family, if you are looking for an unlimited lead source where people will actually reach out to you, raise their hand and say, hey, I want to know more about your product. I want to know more about your service. I am looking for a business opportunity. If you are looking for something like that, boy, you in the right place. I want to encourage you to stay on the phone or stay on the video until the end of the Zoom presentation. We're going to try to have this done in around 20 to 25 minutes. We don't want to keep too much of your time, but we want you to get the full gamut of what this is all about. So literally, he called me up and I came up with all these excuses of why not. And the bottom line is I didn't take advantage of it, but I wasn't crazy enough to miss the boat. And I got lucky because what I ended up asking him, I said, Steve, why don't I pay you some money for you to do some videos? And he had so many videos. He ended up selling me some videos, and he'll share a little bit about that. But literally to this date, 2.5 years later, I am still getting leads in to this day off of those videos that I purchased from him. And I ended up spending over $2,000 to purchase those videos. And what video domination, YouTube Domination Bootcamp is about is you being able to do this yourself and you being able to do it for little to no money. And quite honestly, when I asked Steve, I said, Steve, we kind of reconnected. This was probably about 5 months ago now. And he was just at a point in his career where, he was very open to doing something different. And I started giving him the vision of Momentum, and it couldn't have been a more perfect match, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, this was just a God thing, and I know this to be factually true when he just kind of just came back into my life. And when he showed me, because 2.5 years ago, he was great at this, but when he shows you what he can do now, I mean, his skill level has just gone through the roof. And I know this because I know his last client personally. And I worked with his last client personally. And Steve was doing all of the back end work for his last client. And I watched this client. I watched him with my own eyes go from zero to $300,000 plus per month using this YouTube domination video marketing strategy. I watched it with my own eyes. So that's how I knew it worked. And I just wanted to learn and see what could I do to be able to learn this and master this also. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you the extent I took it to, because it's going to cost you guys a whole lot less. But when I found out that this gentleman wasn't working with a client when he called me, I said, Steve, whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing. I'm going to fly you to Charleston. I'm going to put you up here in Charleston in a condo, and I want you to show me what you know. And ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what I did. And it has been one of the best moves that I've ever made in my life. And not only that, this is just a all around great person. You know, there are some people who have the ability to know things, but everybody can't teach it. And ladies and gentlemen, this guy is just an amazing teacher. You're going to get that one-on-one personal attention where he's going to make sure you learn it. And that's why we have to keep our classes limited to 20 people or less. And so we're obviously getting ready to get a new class started. So, you know, if you are in that window of getting, you know, being a part of this next class, you want to make sure that you go to www.catchmomentum.net. Again, that's www.catchmomentum.net. You can go to events and you will see a drop down that will say YouTube domination. You can register, find out more information about the course right there. But I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pay very close attention to this real short presentation, because you're going to see why that you're in one of the best seats of your life. And more importantly, you're going to see why this can be a game changer for your business. And so I want to introduce to you the coach, the trainer of YouTube Domination Bootcamp, Mr. Steve Burnett.
Hey, young man, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you again for taking a little bit of time out of your schedule to help us put this little demo video together. And I know you'll do your thing and show them why this is a game changer, or could be a major game changer for their business.
Absolutely, no problem. Once again, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time. And trust Mr. Thurman, for those of you who don't know him, you're in for a treat when you connect yourself with him spiritually and specifically with this business. But what I want to do is kind of give you a quick rundown how I ended up here. My degree is actually in graphics and advertising in Philadelphia. And when I was younger, I was also involved in the music industry, where fast forward a few years, I got connected with a gentleman who at one time owned over 13 nightclubs at one time. But the ironic thing was, my birthday is on February 5th. His is on February 4th. So we used to have this thing where I would always find him on his birthday to bring him a birthday cake, because he was a mentor of mine in that business. Well, a few years had gone by, and I had gotten out of the advertising agency because I found my true calling, which was my voice. My voice did better for me than me drawing on sheets of paper in sales. Well, some of the call centers that I worked for ended up being a trainer And when I finally found this gentleman on his birthday, I still thought he was in the music industry, but he had sidestepped that and got into the direct marketing industry, where at that time he was in the top 10 producers in the world for the company that he represented, where it became an instant fix or mix for me to take my phone selling skills and bring that to his team of over 40,000, and that's where we connected. Well, about a decade ago, once their company started to grow and grow and grow, they brought in Mr. Thurman to assist them on a training component, and that's where we connected. Well, a couple of years went by. My contract was up with that gentleman. So in just all of my journeys with that team, I had a lot of opportunities come my way, but there was one specific thing that I was looking for, and I found that in a company out of Austin, Texas. Well, kind of exactly what happened with Mr. Thurman and myself happened with the gentleman in Austin. Once we connected on the phone, it was instant connection, and I ended up in Austin. Well, what I did not know at that time was that Austin was the second tech capital of the United States, next to Silicon Valley out in California. Well, he specifically brought me down to once again do the phone component. But in our journeys, we started to meet the Google person who was stationed in Austin, the Motorola person who was stationed in Austin, the YouTube person who was stationed in Austin. And they would always make the same comments over and over again because of the fact that they were introverts. They were the behind the scenes programmers, but they would always say, you know, Steve, if I had your personality and your voice, there could be so many things that I could do on YouTube. And I would question that. And then we started to do trade-offs where they would do the programming and they would use my voice. And then as time went on and I became more and more confident, I had no problem getting in front of the camera. So that was about 5 or 6 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. And in that time frame, of course, you start to connect with other people that have your same interests. So we connected with some gentlemen out of UK, some gentlemen out of California. And after a few years, we got it. We learned how to master and dominate on YouTube for continuous lead source, or to bring domination to your opportunity or to your channel for information. So real quickly, there are 2 pieces of information that I want to give you to let you know that you have about a 3 to 5 year window, that if you follow this program, you will dominate in anything that you want to as far as information on the internet. And here's why. If you're looking at the screen right now, you will see that this infographic is letting you know that YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. Usually when I would ask people, hey, what are the top 3 search engines that you believe are out there? Most people say Google, Yahoo, Bing, or Google, Bing, Yahoo. It's actually not. It's Google, YouTube. And here's the quick reason why that happened. About 15 years ago, when Silicon Valley started to explode and you had this onslaught of billionaires who were all from California, they started donating and purchasing thousands and thousands and thousands of computers and laptops to all of the children in elementary, middle, and high school on the West Coast. But that was not happening on the East Coast. So now fast forward 4 or 5 years later, where you now have this entire generation of children who now have, basic computer skills versus those who don't, but they are now in college together. So now people are starting to notice that half of the class has laptops, half of the class does not. So when the professor would give homework, he would want that homework to be turned in using Word, using Excel, using computer programs. And now you have a disadvantage to half of the class not having access to that information. So they would then come up to the professor and ask, where do I learn that? The professor would then say, okay, fine, I'll make a video and put it on YouTube, search for it on YouTube, and you'll learn it. Well, that sparked not only that generation of children learning how to do specific skill sets for class, but now it started to show them skill sets for everyday life, where kids were learning how do I cook for myself in college? How do I wash my clothes in college? How do I change my oil in my car? So now you have a generation that has now graduated, are now professionals and parents that are now kind of subliminally always looking for videos before they look for written information. So this is the reason specifically why YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, me saying that you have an entire generation, and we're now on our second generation of people worldwide who would rather watch a video than read. That's the first game changer, and this happened about 2 years ago. Second one that happened is this report. This report is about a year old, where it says nearly 60% of searches are now done for mobile devices. It's actually at about 66% now, and every last one of us on this line, whenever we're out, all we see is people looking down on their phones. But let me tell you why it became a game changer for what we do. As you can see, this report is from 2016. It's now 2017, about to become 2018. Well, now with about 65% of doing searches on mobile, here's what people didn't realize started to happen. And I invite you to try it yourself. If you're on your computer or laptop or desktop and do a search on Google, as you know, your first couple of responses are usually some type of advertisement. And then after that, it's written responses. If you do the exact same search on your mobile device, you will notice halfway through the page, there are now several videos. They aren't stuck on top of each other. They're layered left to right. So you can scroll left to right to get a video answer. The reason that has happened is Google owns YouTube. All of us, of course, know that the way Google and YouTube make their money are from some advertisements or views. Google instantly now puts YouTube responses on mobile devices, which is basically everybody's phone. And all of us know whenever we're searching for something, we're using Google. The reason that this becomes so powerful for us, ladies and gentlemen, is you already know the first slide that I showed you, where you have YouTube being the second largest search engine in the world. So you have people that automatically go to YouTube or automatically go to the video section of Google because they don't want to read. But now, even if you have a person who is looking for written information, the videos will pop up on their mobile device. And as you see, we're now at over 60%. It will grow and grow and grow and grow every year. Those two pieces of information are the most powerful things that have happened in this particular industry. And that is why I say that you have about a 3 to 5 year window. Now, Mr. Thurman was talking earlier to you about if we do this program correctly, these videos will serve you forever. And here's an example. This is a video that I did for a company that basically taught you how to find products on Amazon and then sell them at a higher price on eBay. Okay, so it was a drop ship company. So we did some videos for them. As you can see, I did this video back in 2014. It has almost 28,000 views. This is one of the videos that I did 4 or 5 years ago. Now remember, I would say realistically, my skill set was probably 30% then as to what it is now, just because of the technology growing. But this video still brings in leads every day that for Mr. Thurman, one of his opportunities that he has. The specific reason in showing this is this video serves to this day, and it's almost 4 years old. Now, this is the one that I love to bring up, that Mr. Thurman says that I tease him about all the time. As you can see, this video was made 2 years ago. This was when I was trying to convince him to start to dig into YouTube training. And he fought it tooth and nail because all of you know, he's a belly-to-belly person. He loves people. He loves talking to thousands of people at one time. So my thing to try to get him started was, look, how about this? Only thing I want you to do is I want to show you how easy it is for you to film something on your phone, push 2 buttons, and then get it uploaded to YouTube. He's like, okay, fine. So we picked a strange topic just so you can have something to talk about. But when he did this video, we had no music. We had no title. We did 0 SEO, which is what we call the back end component, or we call that the juice. None of that. He just put this video up just to see how easy it was. Ladies and gentlemen, this video has almost 10,000 views in 10 years without all of the extra sauce that we call it to put in. Imagine if he had dug into this 2 years ago, the amount of leads that he would have coming into his particular business right now. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is when you do a search on YouTube, what do you do? So remember, let's go in order. We found out YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. We found out that YouTube videos pop up on over 65% of mobile devices, actually 100% of mobile devices, but over 65% of people use their phones to do searches. The reason that it's not 100% yet is you have to be realistic, and people are at work when they're doing searches at work. They're not using their mobile device. But here's my question to you and each and every one of you. When you do a search on Google, you of course are looking for answers on page 1. But my question to you is, how many of you go to page 2? How many of you go to page 3? Our saying is, if it's not on page 1, then that search is done. So here's my question to you. Remember, we have that large percentage of people who are looking for videos. We have that large percentage of people who search on mobile devices, so videos pop up automatically. So my question to you is this. If you were doing a search on Google, and on the first page, you start to get your responses, but then all of a sudden there is a video on the first page of that response, on the first page of all in Google, how many of you would click on that video? I'm going to say about 90% of you would click on that video because it's on the first page. And remember, we are now starting to become a video community where we want videos to happen for us. So this is one of the first things that we teach you in YouTube Bootcamp, which is how do we get your video to the first page of Google for domination? That's domination stage 1. But this is the true domination that we want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, which is we specifically showed you the amount of people who go to YouTube to get searches, the amount of times that videos will show up on your mobile device. But more importantly, this is where we want to show you true domination, which is the high percentage of people who do not want to read anything, but when they are on Google, they actually search for the video section. So remember, this is Mr. Thurman's company that we did a video for. He is on page 1. But let's see what happens when we go to the video section. Mr. Thurman's company is the first video, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. That is all of page 1. We now go to page 2. Here's all of page 2. We now go to page 3. Here's all of page 3. That was a search for irrigation. This is for Sprinkler Company, which he also does. He is on the first page of Google, but when we go to the video section, he is totally dominating the first page. He's totally dominating the second page. Totally dominating the third. Storm repair, first page. My reason for showing you this specifically, ladies and gentlemen, is I want you to think about, every last one of you agreed with me that if it's not on page 1, then it's done. So imagine if you take this program seriously, you dig in, and for 60 to 90 days you do videos, and what will happen will be, not only will you dominate the first page of Google, not only will your videos show up on a mobile device, not only will your videos show up on a mobile device because the videos automatically show up, you have now moved all of your competition back to page 4 or 5, which means you dominate that particular topic. You dominate that business. You dominate that specific information. How powerful is that to you? And remember, this is with his lawn turf care company. We could do it with any company. Best insurance agent in Richmond, Virginia. I have that gentleman as number 1. And please look that up so you can get an idea of how how these videos actually flow. But here's the most important thing that I want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, which is none of this is guesswork. I don't want you to think that once you get to the class and you and I get to speak one-on-one, that we're guessing about any of this. We don't. We actually have computer programs that we help assist gentlemen in making years ago that laser show us whatever we want to search for in YouTube. This computer program, its responsibility is to go to YouTube, and when I put in a specific topic, it finds what type of videos have the most monthly searches, what type of videos have the most amount of views. And then when I want to get that specific information, it shows me those videos in order. It shows me how long the video is. It shows me how many views it has. It shows me when it was created, how many people have watched it, and for how long. These are the specific programs that we use to make sure that you have proper information and proper education on how to dominate in this field. I truly want to thank each and every one of you for a few minutes of your time. I know we need to get Mr. Thurman back. We promised we were going to keep this pretty short. Mr. Thurman, are you available, sir?
I am. And all I can say is every time I hear you say that and go over that information, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It is total domination, and it's undeniable. And ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time taking a look at this, some of it may even be a little bit overwhelming. We want to make sure that you have access to us. We want to make sure that you can contact us. You can shoot us an email at info, that's INFO, at catchmomentum.net. Again, that's info at catch, CATCHMOMENTUM.net. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions about any of this, we would definitely make sure that you get your questions answered. For those of you who are ready to go get registered for our next class, you may go to catchmomentum.net. Again, catchmomentum.net. You can go to the event section, and there's a drop down, and it'll say YouTube domination. If you are ready to take your business to a whole nother level, I assure you this will be one of the best investments. This will be one of the best decisions that you've ever made for your business in your entire life. And I say this very, very, very humbly. You know what I did to be able to learn this and get him here. And here's the cool part about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is not something, and the one thing that we are always cautious about is we do not ever want to over promise and under deliver. If anything, it is going to be the opposite. I'll be the first to tell you guys that, it takes work to be able to do this, and it's going to take a little bit of time. One of the most commonly asked questions is what type of time is this going to take? Well, once you learn everything, you should be able to do a video, do the back end work, post the video, upload the video in about approximately 45 minutes. Now, once you get better and once you begin to do this and it becomes just second nature to you, you can begin to do it in about 20 to 30 minutes. And so how many of you feel like, and here's the best part about it, once you get about 90 to 100, maybe 110 videos out for an area, though that one bit of work will pay you for the rest of your career. And here's the even better part. If, God forbid, something happens to your company, the way that Steve teaches this, it's not like you will have to do a whole new series of videos. We teach you in a way where you can take that same set of videos and point it to another source or another direction or another outlet. And so just understand, ladies and gentlemen, when you do the work one time, it's kind of like residual income. You do it one time and it pays you over and over and over again. And when I first asked Steve about, what would you charge for something like this? He was like, oh, it's got to be at least $1,000. And I'm like, $1,000. And I know how much it costs me to fly him here, put him up in a condo here, and for him to teach me. And, there was a little bit of a trade-off. He ended up doing some work for Southern Green, which is my traditional business. But the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, is, the value of this, to me, the most valuable piece of everything that you're going to learn is Steve's personal time and his personal attention. This is a 5-week course. We are going to do 2 days per week. Our scheduled dates are going to be Wednesday and Sunday evening at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's Wednesdays and Sundays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 5-week program. We do 2 classes per week. And at the end of the 5 weeks, you are going to be a YouTube domination master. And we're so excited. But more importantly, not in addition to the hour that Steve spends with us, teaching us how to dominate YouTube, in between every class, you are going to have full access to him to not only make sure that you know exactly what he taught in the previous class, but to help you do your homework to move forward, to make sure you know what it is that you've learned. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the, you know, there's a lot of different courses out there, you know, regarding, you know, YouTube training and SEO and all this kind of stuff. But where are you going to get the personal attention? That's why we can only have our classes limited to 20 people, because there's only so much time in the day, you know. And so we're just excited about this. And here's what I negotiated on behalf of your part. When Steve and I created a partnership here for this class, I asked him, I said, look, man, I don't want anybody, you know, to feel like, you know, I just want people to feel comfortable about their investment. Now, here's what I know. I know the value of this course. The value of this course is over $4,000 or $5,000. And the reason is because it will pay you over and over and over. I still, every day or every other day, I'm getting new leads in, people raising their hands saying, hey, I want to know more about your business. I want to know more about your product. I want to know more about your service, whatever that may be for you. And it will be personalized to you and your business. I know the value of that. I know how much live leads cost. I know the value of purchasing live leads. We're going to show you how none of you will ever have to bug a friend or a family member ever again. We're going to show you how you can have as many people that you want to talk to. And let me just say this, you don't have to stop at 90 or 100 videos. You can do as many as you want, and you can dominate as many areas as you want. When you learn it, you know it. And on top of all of that, we're going to give you the software that cost us hundreds of dollars. We're going to give you the software to be able to use the software that you won't have to spend another dime for. So when you get registered, which for an individual, here's what I negotiated, which, you know, Steve has been extremely nice to move forward with this, but we are going to charge $4.99 for an individual. And if you're a couple, and we've had several couples that have taken the course, it will be $799 for a couple. And why is it more for a couple? Because each person will get that personal attention from Steve, and it will, you know, sometimes, you know, we just had a couple, one gentleman had a motorcycle business, and his wife was opening up a restaurant. So when you have 2 people that want to have 2 businesses that they dominate YouTube for that area, well, guess what? We have, you know, it takes a little bit more time. So, and then for those of you who are graduates of Momentum Training, our Intangibles of Success, if you are a graduate, and this is only for graduates, you can contact us, and we have a coupon code for $100. Wow, wow, wow. So I just want you guys to understand, I mean, these are some extremely inexpensive training classes, and we've gone to bat. We want to make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you have everything you need. We want to over deliver and under promise. We want to make sure that you're fully equipped. We want to make sure that you learn the information, and more importantly, we want to make sure that you have so much value and you add so much success to your business. At the end of the day, this is about you winning. This is about you winning. And your success determines our success. Trust me, there's nothing that would be more exciting to us than for you to be able to say, you know what? I went to that Momentum Training YouTube Domination Boot Camp, and I get new leads in every single week because of that training. And it has made my business. Now I'm a top recruiter in my company. Now I'm a top sales rep in my company. And not only do we teach you how to get the leads, toward the end of the course, ladies and gentlemen, I show you how to call those leads back, because you can have 50 million leads, but if you don't know how to respond to them, if you don't know how to talk to them, if you don't know how to get them engaged and expose them, then it's no good. So in addition to not only dominating YouTube, we're going to teach you how to talk to leads. And I mean, it's so much value here. And so our time is up. We wanted to respect your time. We went a little bit over, but hopefully you understand why we're so excited about sharing this with the world, because we want people to know that if they want to take their business to a whole nother level, they have an undeniable proof in the pudding opportunity, and that's to do it with our Momentum Training YouTube Domination Boot Camp. I look forward to seeing every single one of you in our next class. You can again go to www.catchmomentum.net. Get yourself registered right away. All the details for our next class are available on the website, and I look forward to speaking with every single one of you in the near future. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you, and we'll see you in class.